So, the Manchester Pro-Life Society attempted to hold a meeting last night, and let's just see how they were greeted. OK, so now not everyone would agree with the Pro-Life Society's views, essentially anti-abortion, isn't it? But some of them are clearly outside of the mainstream. Now, should they be able, though, to meet in peace, to just peacefully meet up, have a meeting, have a gathering? Well, apparently not, because the night ended in violence, didn't it? And I think we can take another little look at that. We've just become so extreme, haven't we? Inge Botha is a first-year student at the university studying dental hygiene and therapy. Now, she attended this Pro-Life Society meeting. Good evening. Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to have you on the show. Could you just explain to me, please, exactly what happened? So, and not necessarily just last night as well, some of the kind of abuse and situations that you found yourselves in.
Right. So, firstly, university should be a place where you can discuss and debate opinions without the fear of being marginalised or oppressed. What happened last night was completely opposite to that. We were met with a lot of abuse and oppression just for wanting to discuss our own opinions together. And people were getting physical. They were shouting abuse at us. One man even got into my face with his hands and told me to get raped. That's not pro-woman. And it's definitely not tolerance in the slightest.
No, and regardless of whether or not somebody agrees with the pro-life stance or whatever, and let's be honest, it's one of the more contentious views in society. You know, it is a massive dividing point. But regardless of that, I would hope that everybody can agree that, you know, looking a woman in the eye and saying that she should get raped is not really the way to go about doing these things, is it?
No, absolutely.
What else has gone on? I mean, have you noticed then that there's been this huge amount of hate towards yourself and other people with your views?
Yes, as soon as people heard about that we were becoming a society and who was on the committee, we would get messages from the opposing opinion with hateful messages saying we're disgusting, that we're horrible, that we should be ashamed of ourselves. And we're a peaceful society. We just want what's best for the woman and the baby because we believe that all life is precious. And so we've been oppressed for having that view.
And last night then, just talk me through exactly what happened. So you were having some kind of meeting somewhere in Manchester and clearly people found out where you were and they decided to dedicate their Thursday evening to hanging around outside and doing things like spitting on you as you left.
Yes.
Right.
So we had just met for an introductory talk explaining who we were, what our opinions were, and that we were not going to become horrible to people who don't share the same opinions as us. However, we were met with such violence and hatred just for wanting to gather together in a group with our own opinions and debate as to what we actually believe in.
And at what point did you realise that there was a baying mob outside and that the police had to get involved?
Well, as soon as I arrived at the building, there were already huge amounts of people there. I had to squeeze through the people who were shouting and shoving. It was quite a terrifying experience. And I mean, this is quite a far-reaching terror because it's not just me and the pro-life society who they've terrored. It is also our family, our friends, all the people who love us are now fearing for our safety on campus. As it is, people have already been harassed today because they've been recognised as being associated with us. And this is not how far have we, why has our society become a place where tolerance it only extends to those who share the same opinions as you.
Yeah, I would also argue, again, that, all right, these views might be contentious, and it's one of these things that everyone's got an opinion on, one way or the other. But actually, your view is a mainstream view. Most religions would share your view. Okay, most of the more established religions certainly would share your view. And until really quite recently, it was the prevailing view in society. Okay, so the idea now that people should be hammered for it is, I think, a little bit baffling, really. What have the university said about this?
Well, the university, they've been very supportive as to keeping our freedom of speech available up until last night. We're not allowed to do any more events until Easter because of the safety risk. And the perpetrators of the violence last night, they're not getting any repercussions.
Yes.
We're not getting any safety measures from the university.
So nothing. Right, so basically you've been made to delay any future events, and the people who were saying horrific things, which, again, just to remind people, include telling you that you need to be raped, are not going to have any consequences. Any word from the police?
No, not that I know of.
Right.
No.
Okay. I mean, again, this is possibly another quite egregious example of two-tier policing, but there we go. All right, well, look, thank you very, very much. I will just ask one final question on this, actually, which is just, look, what would you say to someone who does say, look, the pro-life kind of anti-abortion approach is not really modern, okay? And there are a lot of reasons why someone might want an abortion, including, ironically, given the context of what we're talking about now, some of the things that have been said, rape, for example. I mean, what would your response to that be?
Well, rape is a very violent act done to a woman or a man, but in cases of pregnancy resulting from rape, it doesn't change. The violence of this act does not change the idea and the fact that a life is formed from this. And we can't justify murder just because they were conceived from a horrific experience. Life is precious.
And you guys have obviously got your views, and you're not got any intention to go out and start loudly campaigning outside abortion clinics and things like that. You just simply wanted to meet up and have a conversation with other like-minded individuals.
Yeah, and we want to offer support to women who may want another option other than abortion, because there are a lot of resources out there that women aren't told, and it's because we are silenced.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how this all pans out on campus, etc., won't it? But I think it possibly does tie into something that many people see, right across the country now, which is the jump to extremity when there's the slightest disagreement. Well, look, thank you very much for coming on, and incredibly brave, again, to put your face forward, especially given what happened last night. And we do, regardless of what anyone thinks of your views or anything like that, I'm sure absolutely everybody wishes you well, and, certainly no harm to come to you or anyone in the society. So thank you very much, Inge. Take care.
No, thanks for having me.
All right.